The communication screen flickered in the dim council chamber. Ambassador watched the message play for the fourth time. His three-fingered hands shook as he paused the recording. The screaming had stopped 3 days ago from the mining colony. That was worse than the screaming. "They are all dead or taken," council member said quietly. His blue skin had turned pale. "The do not leave survivors, they take slaves." Nodded, the horde had swept through the 7 mining colony like a storm. 800 miners, 300 security personnel, all gone. The Galactic Council had sent their best peacekeeping forces. 3 times they had tried to retake the colony. 3 times they had failed. They were too strong, too brutal, too savage. "We have lost 200 soldiers," continued. "Our best warriors, they laugh at us. They say we are soft. They say the galaxy is weak." "What choice remains?" another council member asked. Her voice was tired, defeated. Stood up, he had been thinking about this for days. There was one option, a new option. "Earth," he said simply. The chamber fell silent. Every council member turned to look at him. They asked, "You want to ask the primitives for help?" "They are not primitives anymore," said. "They achieved faster-than-light travel 2 years ago. They have been exploring their region of space. They have contacted us." "They are from a class 12, another member said. The fear in her voice was clear. "Nothing should be able to survive on that planet. The gravity alone would crush most of us. The diseases would kill us in hours. The predators are everywhere. Even their weather is deadly." "Exactly," said. He pulled up Earth's file on the main screen. The planet rotated slowly. Blue and green and white, it looked beautiful. The data next to it told a different story. Gravity, 1G Earth standard, which was 1.4 times galactic standard. Atmospheric composition, toxic levels of oxygen. Native predators, thousands of species. Pandemic diseases, constant. Natural disasters, weekly. "If they survived that world," continued, "perhaps they can face The debate lasted 2 hours. In the end, desperation won. They sent the message to Earth. The response came faster than expected. 18 hours later, Earth agreed to send a team. Traveled to the orbital station above 7 to meet them. He waited in the docking bay, his security team around him. When the human ship connected, he felt his pulse quicken. What would they look like? The reports said they looked similar to, but taller, stronger, more dangerous. The airlock opened. 5 figures stepped through. They were wearing dark armor that seemed to absorb light. Each one carried weapons that looked primitive but deadly. Had studied human weapons, kinetic projectiles. They used controlled explosions to throw metal at high speeds. Barbaric, effective. The lead human removed his helmet. Saw a face that was indeed similar to features but harder. The eyes were sharp and calculating. The human skin was darker than most. His black hair was cut short. "Captain," the human said, his voice was deep and calm. "This is my team, Lieutenant, Sergeant Sung, Corporal Jinna Park, Private Lee." "Bode, Ambassador, thank you for coming. I must warn you, the situation is dire. They are the strongest warriors in this sector. They stand 8 feet tall. Their skin is like armor. They fear nothing." Captain smiled slightly. It was not a happy smile. "We have read the reports. Show us the mission details." They moved to the briefing room, pulled up tactical maps of the colony. "They hold the main facility here. They have approximately 300 warriors. Our intelligence suggests they are preparing to transport the miners off-world for slave labor. We have perhaps 4 days before they leave." Lieutenant leaned forward, studying the map. She was smaller than the captain, but her eyes were just as sharp. "What about the environment? The report said 7 has 1.8 G gravity and a toxic atmosphere." "Yes," said carefully. "I apologize. We can only send you with environmental suits. The gravity will be difficult. The atmosphere has sulfur compounds that will burn your lungs. The temperature shifts between freezing and boiling depending on the time of day. Our forces found it challenging." To his surprise, Sergeant Sung laughed. It was a short, sharp sound. 1.8 G. We train at 2 G and our environmental suits are built for worse conditions than that. Stared at him. You train in higher gravity. Earth is already a high-gravity world by your standards, Corporal Jenna Park said. She was checking some kind of medical scanner. Our bones are denser. Our muscles are stronger. We evolved to carry our own weight under constant pressure. As for toxic atmosphere, Private Lee added, Earth's atmosphere would kill most species in the galaxy. Too much oxygen. Our cells learn to handle it. These suits will be easy. Felt a chill run down his spine. He had known the humans were from but hearing them talk about it so casually was different. They spoke about conditions that would kill him like they were minor inconveniences. When do we deploy? Captain asked. You want to go immediately? Asked. Do you not need time to prepare, to plan? The captain looked at his team. Something passed between them without words. We prepared on the journey here. We are ready. They do not have time for us to wait. Nodded slowly. He led them to the deployment bay where awaited. As the humans checked their weapons and equipment, he watched them carefully. They moved with efficiency. No wasted motion. They communicated with brief words and hand signals. They seemed relaxed but could sense something underneath, something coiled and waiting. Ambassador, Lieutenant said as they prepared to board. One question, the respect strength, yes. Yes, confirmed. Only strength. They have no concept of mercy or diplomacy. She nodded. Good, then they will understand us. The engines roared to life. Watched it descend toward the planet's surface, toward the held colony. He had sent 5 humans against 300 warriors. He had sent them because he had no other choice. As they disappeared into the clouds, wondered if he had just made the biggest mistake of his career, or if he had finally found the answer the galaxy needed. On the surface of 7, they waited in the colony. They did not know what was coming. They did not know about Earth. They did not know what evolution had created on a Class 12. They would learn soon enough. The touched down 5 kilometers from the colony. Captain was the first to step out onto 7's surface. The gravity hit him immediately, pulling at his body with 1.8 times Earth's force. He adjusted his stance and breath normally. His team followed behind him. Gravity feels good, Sergeant Sung said, rolling his shoulders, like wearing a weighted vest. Ambassador's voice came through their communication system. He was watching from orbit. Please confirm your suits are functioning. The atmosphere readings show sulfur dioxide at dangerous levels. Corporal Jenna Park checked her scanner. Suits are fine. Atmosphere is breathable with filtration. Temperature is currently minus 20 degrees Celsius. Will rise to 45 degrees in 6 hours. She paused. This is actually pleasant compared to some places on Earth. Impossible, said. Our soldiers found these conditions extremely difficult. Lieutenant pulled out a tablet showing the mission map. Ambassador, with respect, your soldiers evolved on gentle worlds. Humans evolved where every day was a fight to survive. This planet is uncomfortable. Earth was deadly. She looked at her team. We have 5 kilometers to the colony perimeter. Terrain is rocky with limited cover. Private, take point. Stay low and quiet. Private Lee nodded and moved forward. He was the youngest of the team, but he moved like a shadow. Within seconds, he had disappeared into the landscape. Captain led the rest of the team forward at a steady pace. They moved in formation, using the rocks and hills for cover. Sergeant Sung carried the heavy weapons, but the increased gravity did not slow him down. They covered the 5 kilometers in 40 minutes, completely silent. I have visual on the colony, his voice came through quietly. Guards on the perimeter. Count 20 hostiles, they are big. Reports were accurate. We see them, confirmed. She was looking through her tactical scope. They were indeed massive, 8 feet tall, covered in thick gray skin that looked like natural armor. They carried large weapons and moved with confidence. They do not appear alert, Captain observed. They think they are safe. Orders, Captain, Sung asked. His hand rested on his heavy rifle. Study the enemy positions. We go quiet for now. Take out the perimeter guards without alerting the others. You and take the north side. Jinnah and I will take south. No gunfire unless necessary. The team split up, watched through his scope as and approached their targets. The two humans moved from shadow to shadow, using the rocks perfectly. The guards never saw them coming. Reached her target first. There was nearly twice her size, but she moved with trained precision. A blade flashed in the dim light. The fell silently, took down his target moments later. On the south side approached his guard. There was looking out toward the horizon, completely unaware. Moved behind him, his steps silent despite the rocky ground. His blade found the weak point in the neck. The warrior dropped. North side clear, reported. South side clear, confirmed. Perimeter is ours, moving to the main facility. From orbit, Ambassador watched in stunned silence. How did you move so quietly? They have excellent hearing. They should have detected you. Humans are persistent hunters, Ambassador, Corporal Jinnah explained as she moved forward. We evolved to track prey over long distances, to move quietly, to strike from surprise. It is in our nature. The team reached the main facility. It was a large structure made of metal and stone. Lights glowed from inside. They could hear voices, rough and loud. I count approximately 100 hostiles inside, said, checking her scanner. More in the secondary buildings. The miners are being held in the lower levels. We need to draw them out, decided. Fighting in close quarters with that many enemies is not ideal. Can you make some noise? Smiled. I brought enough explosives to make a lot of noise, Captain. 10 minutes later, the north wall of the facility exploded. The blast was massive, lighting up the dark landscape. Alarms began to scream. Warriors poured out of every door, weapons ready, looking for the enemy. They found the humans waiting. Sergeant Sung opened fire first. His heavy rifle roared, sending projectiles at supersonic speeds. The kinetic rounds punched through armor like paper. 3 warriors fell before the others could react. They turned toward the gunfire, roaring their war cries. They charged forward, expecting to overwhelm the small group of enemies. They had never fought humans before. The human team spread out, using cover and moving constantly. Their weapons fired with controlled precision. Each shot hit its target. They were strong and tough, but human weapons were designed to kill large predators. They had been doing it on Earth for thousands of years. They are too slow, called out as she dropped another. Their size makes them powerful but not fast. She was right. They were strong, but humans had evolved for endurance and speed. The humans moved between cover points, fired, moved again. They tried to chase them, but they could not keep up. One warrior managed to get close to Corporal Jinnah. He swung his massive weapon at her head. She ducked under the blow and rolled away. Before they could swing again, she had put 3 rounds into his chest. The warrior fell. These things are tough, Jinnah said, but they can die. Their biology is not that different from large Earth mammals. Hit the vital organs and they go down. The battle lasted 12 minutes. 50 warriors lay dead or dying. The rest had retreated back into the facility, finally understanding that they were facing something dangerous. Ambassador's voice was shaking. How did 5 of you defeat 50 of them? Our entire battalion could not accomplish this. Captain reloaded his weapon calmly. Your battalion was not ready for war, Ambassador. They were peacekeepers. They were trained to show force, not use it. We are soldiers from Earth. We are trained to survive against impossible odds. More importantly, we are trained to win. But they are so much larger than you, protested. Size is not everything, said. She was checking her ammunition, not even breathing hard despite the intense fight. Dinosaurs were large. They went extinct. Humans are small and weak compared to many Earth predators, but we learned to think, to use tools, to work together. That made us the deadliest species on our planet. We are pack hunters, Ambassador, Sung added. We protect each other, we coordinate, we adapt. One human might lose to it in strength. 5 humans will never lose because we fight as one. Inside the facility, the Commander Warlord listened to the reports. 50 warriors dead. 5 enemies. It was impossible. It had to be a trick, some kind of advanced technology. But his warriors told him the same thing. The enemies were small. They moved fast. Their weapons were primitive but devastatingly effective, and they did not stop. Even when hit, they kept fighting. Felt something he had not felt in many years. He felt doubt. Outside, Captain looked at his team. Everyone okay? Took a hit to his armor, Jinnah reported. No penetration, some bruising. I am fine, Sung confirmed. Their weapons are strong but slow, easy to see coming. Nodded. Good. We rest for 5 minutes, then we go in. We have miners to rescue. The team checked their equipment and prepared for the next phase. They had learned that they were fighting something new, something from a world they could not imagine. They were fighting humanities, and the battle had only just begun. The human team entered the facility through a side entrance that Private had found. Inside, the corridors were wide and tall, built for the large warriors. Emergency lights cast red shadows on the walls. They know we are coming, Lieutenant said quietly. She was checking her scanner. I am reading heat signatures ahead. They are setting up defensive positions. Let them wait, Captain said. He pulled out a small device from his pack. Set up motion trackers at the rear entrances. I want to know if they try to flank us. While worked, Corporal Jinnah Park examined the walls. These corridors are straight with no cover. They want to force us into kill zones where they can use their numbers. Then we do not use the corridors, decided. He looked up at the ceiling. These are mining facilities. There will be ventilation systems, service tunnels. We go above them. Sergeant Sung smiled. I like it. They are thinking of fighting large armies, not small units that can move through spaces they cannot fit. The team found an access panel and climbed into the ventilation system. The metal shafts were tight even for humans, but they crawled through quietly. Below them, they could hear warriors talking, waiting for an attack that would never come from the direction they expected. They sound nervous, whispered. She was translating the language through her suit's computer. They are saying their brothers died too easily, that the enemy moves like ghosts. One is saying they should retreat. Fear is a weapon, said. They are used to terrifying others. Now they are the ones who are afraid. We use that. They reached a point above the main defensive position. Through a grating, they could see 20 warriors below, their weapons aimed at the corridor entrance. They were focused entirely on that direction. On my mark, ordered. Then we drop in, fast and close. Do not give them time to use their size advantage. He counted down with his fingers. 3, 2, 1. 4 grenades dropped through the grating. The explosions were deafening in the enclosed space. Blinding light filled the corridor. They roared in confusion and pain. The humans dropped down immediately after, landing among the disoriented warriors. At close range, in chaos, size meant nothing. Training meant everything. The fight was brutal and fast, moved like water flowing around the slower strikes. Her blade found weak points in their armor. Sung used his strength and weight to knock warriors off balance before finishing them. Jinnah fought with clinical precision, targeting nerve clusters and vital organs. Captain faced 3 at once. They swung their weapons in wide arcs trying to crush him. He ducked, rolled, and moved into their reach where their long weapons were useless. His combat knife flashed 3 times. 3 fell. In 90 seconds, 20 warriors were down. The humans had some cuts and bruises, but nothing serious. They are too dependent on strength, Sung observed, wiping blood from his knife. They never learned to fight smart, just to fight hard. From orbit, Ambassador was recording everything. He had to show the Council. They would not believe it otherwise. 5 humans had just defeated over 70 warriors, the best warriors in the known galaxy. This is not possible, whispered to himself. They are not using advanced technology, just tactics and speed, and he stopped. He finally understood. They are predators, true predators. The team moved deeper into the facility. They reached a large hall where the miners were being held. But between them and the miners stood Warlord himself, surrounded by 30 of his best warriors. Was even larger than the other, nearly 9 feet tall, covered in scars from 100 battles. His armor was decorated with trophies from defeated enemies. He held a massive blade in one hand. So, said in surprisingly good galactic common language, the tiny ones who think they are warriors. You have killed many of my soldiers. I admit, I did not expect such skill from creatures so small. Captain stepped forward. Release the miners, leave this planet, you have lost. Laughed, it was a deep rumbling sound. I have lost, I still have 30 warriors, you are 5, and you are tired, I can see it, you breathe heavy, you bleed, you are at your limit. We are human, said simply. This is not our limit, this is just the beginning. Laughter stopped. There was something in the small warrior's eyes that made him uncomfortable, a certainty, a coldness. You think you can defeat me? I have fought for 40 years, I have killed thousands. What are you? I am a human who has fought to survive every day of my life, replied. On a planet that tried to kill me from birth, against predators that could tear me apart, against diseases that could end me in hours, against weather that could freeze or burn me, I am still here. Can you say the same? Roared and charged. His massive blade swung down with enough force to split stone, moved aside at the last moment. The blade crashed into the floor where he had been standing. The warlord was fast for his size, but was faster. He had evolved from prey animals who had to outrun predators. He had evolved from hunters who chased prey for hours without stopping. Speed and endurance were in his blood. Swung again and again. Each swing could kill, but each swing missed. Moved like he was dancing, staying just out of reach. He was studying his opponent, learning patterns, finding weaknesses. Stand still and fight, roared. Why? Asked. He was breathing hard but steadily. This is how humans fight. We do not match strength against strength. We use what we have, speed, intelligence, patience. He darted in and his knife found a gap in his armor. A small cut appeared on the warlord's leg. Barely felt it but saw what he needed. The armor had weak points. Attacked with renewed fury but now was striking back. Small cuts, one after another. None were fatal but they added up. Blood began to flow, was slowing down. What are you? Panted. He had been fighting for 5 minutes. He should have ended this in seconds. But the small human just kept moving, kept cutting, never stopped. I told you, said. His voice was calm despite his exhaustion. I am human. We are persistence hunters. We chase our prey until it cannot run anymore. We do not stop. We never stop. Understood then. This was not about strength. This was about endurance. The human was not trying to kill him quickly. The human was wearing him down, like hunting an animal until it collapsed from exhaustion. He had become the prey. Attacked one more time, putting all his remaining strength into a final strike. Stepped inside the attack and drove his knife up under the warlord's arm, between the armor plates, straight into the heart. Fell to his knees. He looked at the small human standing before him. Your world, he gasped. What kind of world creates hunters like you? A hard one, said quietly. The kind that does not forgive weakness. The kind that made us strong because anything else meant death. Fell forward, dead. The remaining warriors stared in shock. Their warlord, their strongest fighter, defeated by a creature half his size. For the first time in their history, they felt true fear. Drop your weapons, Lieutenant ordered, or join your warlord. The weapons clattered to the floor. The warriors surrendered. Sergeant Sung moved to release the miners. They stumbled out of their cells, weak and scared. When they saw the 5 humans standing among the bodies of their captors, they could not believe it. "5 of you," one miner whispered. "Only 5. 5 is enough," Corporal Jinnah said, "when those 5 are from Earth." Ambassador's voice came through, full of awe and fear. "Captain, the Council is watching this broadcast. They want to know. What are humans? What did your world make you?" Looked at his team. They were tired, bleeding, and bruised, but they were alive. They had won. "We are what happens," he said, "when evolution does not let anything survive unless it becomes the most dangerous thing on the planet. We are Ambassador, and now the galaxy knows it." The miners were safe, but the mission was not over. Captain stood in the main hall, looking at the tactical map that Lieutenant had pulled up. Approximately 150 warriors had retreated from the colony. They were heading toward the mountains where their supply ships waited. "If they reach those ships, they will escape," said. "They will report what happened here. They will come back with more warriors, hundreds, maybe thousands." "Then we do not let them reach the ships," decided. He looked at his team. They were exhausted. Sergeant Sung had a deep cut across his shoulder. Corporal Jinnah was limping slightly from a bruised knee. Private had burns on his arms from handling hot metal during the fight. They were hurt and tired, but when looked at them he saw no hesitation, only determination. "Captain," Ambassador's voice came through, urgent and worried. "You cannot pursue them. You need rest, medical treatment. The Council is sending ships to assist. They will be here in 6 hours." "In 6 hours they will be gone," said. "We pursue now." "But there are 150 of them," protested. "You are only 5. You are injured. This is suicide." Sung laughed, a short bark of sound. "Ambassador, you still do not understand humans. We do not abandon a mission because it is hard. We do not quit because we are hurt. That is not who we are." "Besides," Jinnah added as she checked her medical supplies, "humans have hunted as packs for thousands of years. When the pack hunts, every member has a role. We cover each other's weaknesses. We are stronger together than any of us are alone." "Turn 2, can you track them?" Nodded. "They are not trying to hide. They are running scared. They left a trail a child could follow. They are in the mountain pass heading northeast." "Good, we leave in 5 minutes. Everyone check weapons and gear." The team prepared quickly and efficiently. They had done this hundreds of times in training and dozens of times in real combat. Each person knew their role without needing to be told. They left the facility and headed toward the mountains. The sun was setting on 7 and the temperature was dropping fast. Within an hour, it would be below freezing. A radiation storm was forming in the upper atmosphere. The scanners showed dangerous levels building. "They will have to stop and take shelter," observed. "They are tough, but even they cannot survive that level of radiation." "We can," Jinnah said. She was adjusting their suit settings. "Our suits are designed for Earth's radiation belts. This storm is nothing compared to what we train in. We keep moving. We catch them while they are sheltering." They moved through the darkness, following the trail. Private led the way, his eyes adapted to the low light. Humans had evolved as persistent hunters who chased prey across vast distances. They could see in dim light. They could track by small signs. They could keep moving when others had to rest. After 3 hours held up his fist, the team stopped. He pointed ahead to a series of caves in the mountainside. "They are inside, all of them, waiting out the storm." "Perfect," said. "They are trapped. What are our options?" Studied the terrain through her scope. "The caves have 3 entrances. We can cover all of them with 5 people. We wait until the storm passes, then we finish this." But fate had other plans. A piece of debris from the storm, superheated by atmospheric friction, struck the mountainside above them. Rock and ice began to fall. The team scattered, but Jinnah was too slow. A large boulder caught her leg, pinning her to the ground. She screamed. The sound cut through the team like a knife. Jinna, Sung was already running toward her and followed immediately. They did not think, they did not hesitate. One of their pack was hurt, nothing else mattered. Reached her first. He could see the damage immediately. Her leg was crushed. Her suit had breached. She was exposed to the toxic atmosphere and radiation. "I am fine," Jinna gasped through the pain. Tears ran down her face, but she was already pulling out medical supplies with shaking hands. "I can seal the suit. I can treat the leg. You need to complete the mission." "No," said simply. He was already working to lift the boulder. "We do not leave our pack behind, ever." Sung added his strength to the effort. Together, they lifted the massive rock just enough for to pull Jinna free. The moment she was clear was sealing the suit breach with emergency patches. Inside the caves, heard the commotion. They came out to investigate. They saw the humans gathered around their injured teammate, distracted and vulnerable. "Attack," one of them shouted. "They are weak, kill them now." 50 warriors charged out of the caves toward the human position. Ambassador watched from orbit in horror. "Captain, hostiles approaching. You need to retreat." "No," said again. His voice was cold, focused. He stood up, his weapon ready. Sung and positioned themselves between the approaching and Jinna, finished sealing the suit and joined the defensive line. "They hurt one of ours," Sung said quietly. The pleasant, joking tone was gone from his voice. What remained was something primal, dangerous, bad choice. They expected the humans to run, or to fight desperately. What they did not expect was for the humans to attack. And his team charged forward to meet the enemy. There was no fear in their movements, only cold, calculated fury. They fought with a ferocity they had never seen before. Humans were pack animals. They protected their own with a loyalty that went beyond logic or reason. An injured pack member did not make them weak. It made them deadly. The battle was savage. The humans gave no ground. Every who tried to reach Jinna died, moved through the enemy like a storm, his weapons firing with mechanical precision. Sung roared with each kill, his anger making him stronger, and worked together perfectly, covering each other's backs. "They are not fighting to win," one warrior said to another, terror in his voice. "They are fighting to kill, to protect. They are like the war beasts from the old stories." "They are not beasts," another replied, backing away. "Beasts can be reasoned with. These are something worse." The humans pushed forward, driving the back toward the caves. 50 became 40. 40 became 30. They broke and ran back into the caves. "Hold position," ordered. His team formed a defensive circle around Jinna. They were breathing hard, covered in blood and dirt, but they were unbroken. Jinna had finished treating her leg. The pain medication was working, but her face was pale. "I can walk," she said. "Not well, but I can move." "You do not have to," Sung said gently. His voice was soft again now that the immediate danger had passed. "I will carry you." "You need both hands for fighting," Jinna protested. "Then we'll take my heavy weapon," Sung replied. "We adapt, that is what we do." They rearranged their gear. Sung carefully picked up Jinna and secured her on his back. She protested, but he ignored her. The team reformed and continued toward the caves. Inside, the remaining warriors huddled together. They had seen what the humans were capable of. They had seen the fury that came from threatening the pack. They were not warriors anymore. They were prey. "We surrender," one of them shouted in Galactic Common. "Please, we surrender, do not kill us." The humans entered the caves cautiously. They had thrown down their weapons and knelt on the ground, their heads bowed. "Why do you surrender now?" asked. "You outnumber us, you are stronger." "Because you do not fight like soldiers," the warrior replied. His voice shook. "You fight like demons. You protect each other with a fury we cannot match. We were wrong. Earth is not just it is a world that makes monsters." "We are not monsters," said quietly. He looked at his team. at Jinnah hurt but alive, at who had carried her without complaint, at and who had fought beside him without question. We are humans, we are a pack, and we never abandon our pack. The mission was complete, they were defeated, the miners were safe. From orbit, Ambassador watched in silence. He had witnessed something incredible, not just the combat skill of the humans but their loyalty, their willingness to risk everything for each other. The Council would need to understand this. Earth had not just sent soldiers, they had sent a pack, and attacking one member of that pack meant facing all of them. The galaxy had learned a new truth. Humans were, but more than that, they were pack hunters who would die for each other, and that made them more dangerous than any weapon. 1 week later, Captain stood in the Galactic Council chamber. It was a massive room, with seats arranged in a circle rising up toward the domed ceiling. Representatives from 200 species watched him from those seats. The chamber was silent. Lieutenant stood beside him, her posture straight and professional. Their dress uniforms were simple compared to the elaborate robes and armor of the alien dignitaries, but they stood with quiet confidence. Ambassador approached the center podium. Honored council members, I present Captain and Lieutenant of Earth. They led the mission to rescue the miners from Seven. All 800 miners were recovered alive. The threat has been neutralized. A murmur ran through the council. Council member stood from his seat. 5 soldiers, 5, against over 300 warriors. The recording we watched was difficult to believe. How is this possible? Stepped forward. We trained for it, we prepared for it, and we executed the mission as planned. But they are the strongest warriors in known space, another council member said. Her voice carried disbelief. Our best battalions could not defeat them. You are from a newly contacted world. You have only had faster-than-light travel for 2 years. How can you be so effective? With respect, said, your battalions were not trained for war. They were trained for peacekeeping. There is a difference. And more importantly, added, they were not from Earth. Leaned forward in his seat. Explain. We have studied your world's data. We understand it is classified as a Class 12, but what does that truly mean? Took a breath. It means that Earth tried to kill us every single day for millions of years. The gravity is crushing by galactic standards. The atmosphere is toxic to most species. Predators evolved that could tear us apart. Diseases that could end us in hours. Weather patterns that could freeze or burn us. Earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, floods. Our planet was actively hostile to life. Many worlds have challenges, said. Not like Earth, replied. She pulled up a display showing Earth's evolutionary history. On most worlds, evolution creates specialists, species that adapt to specific environments. Earth created generalists, species that could adapt to everything because nothing was stable, nothing was safe. The display showed images. Early humans running across plains, chasing prey for hours. Humans climbing mountains and crossing frozen wastelands. Humans surviving in deserts and jungles and Arctic ice. We evolved as persistence hunters, continued. We ran our prey to exhaustion over distances of dozens of kilometers. We developed the ability to sweat to cool ourselves while running. Our prey would overheat and collapse. We just kept moving. You evolved to chase things until they died from exhaustion. A council member asked, horror clear in her voice. Yes, confirmed. And we evolved other traits. We can throw objects with incredible accuracy and force. No other species can do this like humans can. We developed complex communication to hunt in coordinated packs. We learned to use tools to overcome our physical weaknesses. Most importantly, we developed loyalty to our pack members that goes beyond logic. She looked at, on Earth, a pack member who is injured is not abandoned. The pack protects them, carries them, dies for them if necessary. This is instinct for us. It is who we are. The chamber was silent. The council members looked at each other uncomfortably. You are saying, said slowly, that your entire species evolved specifically to survive impossible conditions. Not just survive, said, to dominate. Humans became the apex predator on Earth. Every other large predator learned to fear us. We did not do this through strength or size. We did it through intelligence, endurance, cooperation, and the absolute refusal to give up. Ever. A council member from a water world spoke up. This is deeply disturbing. You describe yourselves as if you are weapons, not people. We are people, said firmly. We have art and music and literature. We love and laugh and dream. But we also have the capacity for violence when necessary. Earth taught us that survival sometimes requires being the most dangerous thing in the room, not because we want to be, but because anything else means death. The council chambers erupted in debate. Some members were afraid. Others were impressed. Some demanded that Earth be quarantined. Others argued that humanity could be valuable allies. Council member called for order. Enough, we must make a decision. The question before us is simple. Do we accept Earth into the Galactic Council? Do we embrace these? They saved 800 lives, one member argued. Our own forces failed 3 times. They succeeded. We owe them gratitude. They are too dangerous, another countered. What happens when their interests conflict with ours? Will they turn those abilities against us? Raised his hand for permission to speak, nodded. Council members, said, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber. I understand your fear. We are different from you. Our world made us hard, made us capable of violence. But Earth also taught us something else. It taught us the value of cooperation, of loyalty, of protecting those who cannot protect themselves. He gestured to the display showing the rescued miners. You think we are weapons. Maybe we are. But weapons have no choice in how they are used. We have a choice. We choose to stand with those who stand with us. We choose to protect the innocent. We choose to fight against those who prey on the weak. Stepped forward. They were the strongest warriors you knew. They respected only strength. They took what they wanted by force. We showed them that strength alone is not enough. Intelligence matters. Strategy matters. Loyalty matters. These are human values. These are what make us effective. But will you follow council law? Asked. Will you accept our authority, or will you do as you please? We will follow just laws, replied. We will work within the system, but we will not stand by and watch innocents suffer while bureaucracy debates. That is not who we are. If you want us as allies, you need to understand that about us. The debate continued for hours, finally called for a vote. The vote was close, but in the end the council decided Earth would be accepted, but with conditions. Addressed the chamber. Earth is hereby welcomed into the Galactic Council. However, we propose a special arrangement. Human military forces will serve as a specialized unit for situations that require unconventional solutions, situations where standard peacekeeping forces are inadequate. You want us to be your soldiers, said. It was not a question. We want you to be our specialists, clarified. When diplomacy fails, when standard military force is insufficient, when the impossible must be accomplished, we want humans to lead those missions. Considered this. We accept, but on one condition. We choose which missions we take. We will not be used for wars of conquest or political games. We fight to protect, not to oppress. Looked at the other council members. They nodded. Agreed. This will be known as the Accord. Earth provides specialized military support. In return, you receive full council membership, access to our technology and our protection. One more thing, added. Any species who serves alongside humans must understand our pack mentality. We protect our own. If someone is willing to fight beside us, we will die for them. We expect the same loyalty in return. That seems reasonable, said. You do not understand, said seriously. It is not negotiable. It is instinct. If you betray a human's trust, if you abandon a human's pack mate, humans will never forget, never forgive. They learned this. They hurt one of our team. They paid for it with everything. A chill ran through the chamber. The council was beginning to understand what they had invited into their midst. The humans were not monsters. They were not evil, but they were the product of a world that showed no mercy to the weak. They had survived by becoming the strongest, most loyal species on their planet, and now they were loose in the galaxy. 3 months later, the word had spread throughout known space. Humanity's reputation preceded them. When humans arrived to help with a crisis, people felt relief. When humans arrived as enemies, people felt terror. The Horde, once the most feared warriors in the sector, had changed their recruitment message. It now included a specific clause: "We do not accept missions that may involve humans from Earth." In a bar on a space station, a group of alien mercenaries sat drinking. One of them, a veteran soldier, gave advice to the younger recruits. If you ever face humans in combat, remember 3 things. 1. They are faster than they look. 2. They never stop even when hurt. 3. Never ever threaten their pack, because if you hurt one human, you face all of them, and they will chase you across the entire galaxy if necessary. On Earth, new teams were being trained. The success of Captain's mission had inspired thousands to volunteer. Young humans eager to explore the stars and prove that Earth's children could stand among the stars. In the training facility, an instructor addressed a new class. "You are about to represent humanity to the galaxy. They see us as predators, as dangerous. They are right, but show them that we are more than that. Show them that humans are loyal, that we protect the innocent, that we make the galaxy safer, not more dangerous." Captain and lieutenant were promoted to train these new teams. They had become legends, the humans who defeated the who saved the miners. On their final day at the council chambers before returning to Earth, Ambassador approached them. "I want to apologize," he said. "When I first saw you, I thought you were primitives, barbarians from a savage world. I was wrong." "You were not wrong," said gently. "We are from a savage world. We are capable of terrible violence, but we are also capable of great loyalty, great sacrifice. Earth made us both warrior and protector. We are what we needed to be to survive." "The galaxy is changing because of you," said. "Species that once feared only strength now respect strategy, intelligence, loyalty. You have shown them a new way." Smiled. "Good. That is what we wanted, not to conquer, not to dominate, just to show that there is strength in protecting others, that the most dangerous species can also be the most trustworthy." They boarded their ship to return home. As Earth grew larger looked at his team. "We did it," he said quietly. "We showed them who humans are." "And they will never forget," added. "They have arrived, and the galaxy will never be the same." The ship entered Earth's atmosphere, carrying the warriors home. Behind them, the galaxy continued to spin, but now it spun with the knowledge that humanity had joined the stars. And when humanity made a promise to protect someone, that promise was kept, no matter the cost.